don't mind, John.
Do it start again. Start again.
No, go on. Continue, guys, continue.
Do you want me to just... Do you want to say what we were speaking about?
We can summarise it.
Yeah, you can do that. Hey, we've got professionals here. I like it. This is what we like. Go ahead. What were you talking about?
This is my second time Speaks Corner.
Oh, right, okay.
So I have a Muslim niece. She's been raised as a Muslim. So my sister converted a few years ago, and started having some conversations with her. And I didn't have very good perception of Islam back then. And she's telling me about the hellfire and how I'm a Christian and she's a Muslim, and what she was talking about worried me. So my first step was to try and look into it so I could actually have a reasonable debate with her in a conversation.
Understood. Excellent. A logical step.
Yeah. So
then he kind of started looking into it for himself as well.
I did. So I looked into it, and then it started to actually make sense. And it was EFDawah. EFDawah was a channel that I.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
it was a channel that I first looked at. Wow. I just clicked in. I think it was beating your wife or something, because that was one of the things.
I think I remember the one.
My niece, and and I remember seeing Hamza, and he seemed to.
Just to clarify, I'm not Hamza.
No, he's not.
Yeah, that's not why I approached him. I did.
People get confused with John and Hamza, but he's not.
I'm guessing he's taller than Hamza.
All white people look the same.
Hamza is actually here today, though, but I'll try and get him to introduce as well. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, you were saying. Yeah, so you found it interesting in it.
Yeah, I think for me, what it started to show, when it seemed to be that Islam wasn't what I'd been led to believe it was. There seemed to be an answer for every misconception I had. Every misconception. It seemed to be a guide for life. Which, when I look back on my life, most of the mistakes I've made are alcohol-driven, gambling, and all these things. And I'm not dumb enough to think that I don't need a guide.
I was just explaining, because I had a similar experience as a non-Muslim. I was raised as a Christian. I never believed Jesus was God. So to many Christians, they wouldn't view me as a Christian. But I was raised as a Christian. But then through my teenage years, again, doing my own thing, chasing the world, making mistakes because of alcohol, gambling, whatever, drugs. I never took drugs. But you make these mistakes in life, and you realise that you have to have some accountability and some guidance. And I started to question Islam. As I told you before, I went to Africa, came into contact with Muslims, and started to question. And as you said, Muslims always seem to have the answer. And as I mentioned to you before, that we believe that every human being is born with this belief in a creator. We have it ingrained in us. Morality, we know when we're drinking alcohol and doing things that it's not right. We know deep down. We know that Allah exists. We know He's a reality. And this is something inside. And you asked me for proof. Why did you accept Islam? Because Allah chose me. That's the reason. I can give you all these reasons, what were a means to guide me, to show me the way, but ultimately, if Allah puts it in your heart, that's what's going to guide you. And I think I kind of sense that you're kind of on that path.
The reason why I was interested in your story in particular, and probably why I was attracted to Hamza's debating, was you're obviously a white guy with a beard who's maybe had the same upbringing as me. You haven't been born a Muslim. And it interests me because I'm at the stage where I've looked into it and I've thought, wow, what a good idea. If you started telling me about, Prophet Muhammad flying up to the heavens on a winged animal, that stuff goes over my head. So I'm at the stage where I can accept there's a creator, I accept I need a guide, I accept there's a purpose to life. That doesn't necessarily point me to Islam.
You're at the stage where you're supposed to be, to tell the truth right now.
Let me tell you, like this isn't something new. I mean,
guys, this is an amazing talk, and I don't want to miss any of it. Can we move over there so the audio is way better? Because I wish I had my proper camera right now.
Can I put my back to the sun as well?
Yes, go ahead.
You can put me to the side. I don't want the eyes to be sun. So I mean, where was we? Yeah, about the winged horse. I
use that as an example.
Yeah, I mean, believe all miracles. Because there's something we can't see. Something, we live in a time where we want to
it's very good.
See to believe.
It's not something we should miss.
And the point is that you haven't seen Allah, but you believe in Him.
Me personally.
Yeah. You haven't seen God, but we have this belief in him. Now, if we believe that the Quran is from God, anything it says is true. Now, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, when this happened, he travelled to the heavens on a burak. It's not quite a winged horse, but I know that's what the incident you're speaking about. And his companions were shocked, and some of them were nearly in disbelief, because this is like, what is this? And the pagans at the time of Prophet Muhammad, they were thriving off this. They were saying, oh, look at what Muhammad said, let's go and spread what he said, because everyone's going to leave Islam, because it's something you can't imagine, someone getting on a creature what you don't know it is, and traveling through the heavens, outside of this creation, if you like. I mean, and it was unbelievable. But at the same time, this was a test of belief that we know that Allah is all-powerful. He is able to do anything. And we are certain that the Quran is from Allah. It's from the Creator. It's not authored by Muhammad. It's not authored by his companions. It's something delivered, given to Prophet Muhammad. And so anything it says inside, we accept blindly, if you like. But we're not accepting blindly in the sense of I'm just following anything. We have reasons to believe that the Quran is from God. We have reasons to believe in Allah. Therefore, whatever the Quran says, we submit to it.
Because you think it's God's word, that you would follow it.
We submit to it, and we submit to it. It's like, for instance, some people, why is the rules about alcohol? Well, you might not like it, you might not believe it, but we submit to it. Because we know that Allah is the most knowledgeable, He is the wise, and the Quran is the truth. Whether you can understand it, whether you believe it, alcohol is bad for you or not, that's the rules. And so we submit to it. The point is, as we said, Allah is a reality. Now, we have to discuss about Prophet Muhammad, who is this man? Now, how can you even begin to believe in Islam if we don't know anything about Prophet Muhammad? Because most people don't know anything about him. They don't even know he existed. I was growing up in school, no one told me about him.
Most people know about Aisha, most people know there are, people like me, those are the stories that might be initially
stronger to you.
I would, someone like myself, a white person growing up in the Western world, would know that he's a warlord. Know that he married when he was 9, when she was 6, married when he was 9. And these aren't great things initially when you hear them.
If you don't understand them and you've not looked into them, and you're from a different world, yes, and you don't understand the whole concept around it. People can throw these doubts in.
And I didn't say those as an insult, because I'm not stupid enough to know. I knew 100 years ago people were marrying people that young. It's hard for us to
grasp at this
like
stage.
I'm justifying paedophilia online, but I know that if I was put somewhere 150 years ago, people are marrying. People like me may have been marrying young girls, and that was the way it was. So I'm not dumb enough to know.
So the point is the Quran from God? Have you been looking into the Quran?
That's my next. I think I even get to have a copy, but I've been looking on YouTube and I've been looking at this. I messaged Hamza actually about it. Whether is it a good idea for someone like me to just pick up the Quran and read it? I understand that you need hadith, you need context. And I don't want to read it and then think bloody hell, this guy's beheading people. There are things in there that I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, reading it like a storybook, as I said, you're going to take things out of context. You're not going to understand the whole background.
So that's the question. Would somebody like me who's looking into Islam, is it a good idea to pick up a Quran and read it from back to front?
I believe so as well. But you know that when you come across something that you don't understand or it doesn't sound like it's fitting with your innate belief, then you'll need more explanation on that. And we have books of tafsir, which is exegesis, where we can go to understand a deeper context to the verses. But the main thing I focus on really is reading the Quran, but also studying what the Muslims believe, and the core beliefs of Islam, and that we believe in the existence of Allah. He's the only one worthy of worship. Now, he doesn't need our worship. He's worthy of that worship. He has created us. He has created everything in his creation. Our parents, our families, your niece. You know, but subhanAllah, someone who is responsible for this is worthy of worship. And it's a benefit to us to worship.
1%, 1% of chance.
And the other
never,
point
they will kill everybody.
we believe that Allah has created angels. There are angels around us.
It's jihad. It's a jihad.
Sometimes we experience certain things to do with it, but they have different jobs.
No.
Sorry,
Israel
you would accept that if someone told you about angels
No. Israel defines itself and has
before you believed in Islam, you'd probably be thinking,
Definitely. I'll be like, okay, maybe.
yeah, you'd be thinking, and that's my, so at the moment, that's my,
But some people do
you can
believe
talk
in
about
it.
angels and I don't disrespect it, but to me, to imagine an angel is something that, yeah.
So the other thing is, before Islam, I did have experience with, there's another creation around us as well called the jinn. You might, like in England they have the concept of ghosts or spirits. But the English concept is that they're dead people, the spirits of dead people.
Demons, yeah.
We believe there is a jinn. There's a concept of a jinn around us who are their own spirit, like human beings. They have their own soul, they're their own person. But we can't see them. And I did have interaction with these before Islam in Africa. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but millions and millions of other people have also had interaction with not just Muslims, Christians.
Was this before or after you accepted?
This is before Islam. Before I became a Muslim, I'd experienced.
So at the time you weren't aware it was a jinn?
I thought it was a ghost. I thought this man was doing some sort of magic. I just know that there was a man in Africa that knew everything about me. Mm-hmm. How did he get this information? Because this information is things that only I knew. How did he get this information? Now, of course, after some research, I realised that Islam explains how they get their information. They believe in this parallel world, if you like, the jinn, spirits who are around us. So it's your companion that is here now. He knows things about you that only you know. That cake that your mother used to make, on that special day, so this spirit was now giving information to this person about me, telling him, about these personal things that only I knew, and only Islam could explain these things. There's no other explanation out there for these things, and so. People do have interaction with the jinn. They think it's ghosts. That's why they think it's dead people, because they're telling them about things about what only that
So was this a big part of why you accepted?
This was one of the reasons. The main reason was the concept of God, because this was. Remember we were talking about the fitrah, the innate disposition that everyone's born with the belief in the oneness of God. Yeah, and only Islam has that. Show me another religion that has that belief in God. There's no other religion on earth. You go to Judaism, it's not there anymore. Of course, the original religion of Moses and the prophets, the children of Israel, were Muslim. But we're talking about the current day Judaism. The concept of God is not there. We're a resting God, a Trinity God of the Christians.
So you say Islam is the only religion that believes that we have an innate desire to worship God?
To worship God, and not only that, the concept of God, which Islam teaches, which the Quran teaches, is in line with the fitrah. And this is something that you can find throughout the whole world. That's why you have Muslims in every country, every culture. They recognise it. So that's one of the main things. Where something like Trinitarianism is something you're born with. You'd not ask a child who's God and say the Trinity. But the concept of God in Islam is a very pure, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the merciful, the all-wise. So I really would. That's the main reason for me.
Okay.
I'm working backwards. I have my belief in God.
Do you mind if I ask you some personal questions?
Depends how personal. Depends how personal. Try.
No, what I'd be interested, because Another thing that when I was watching Hamza on the EFDawah channel was what really interested me that he seemed. I remember him saying that he gave up his family.
Yeah.
I think if somebody like myself is to become Muslim around because of the perception around amongst probably my crowds, certain friendships, certain family members, it is something that you would probably lose people along the way. And I was just, do you mind if I ask you, did you have that situation?
Yeah, of course. It's not easy because, of course, my parents were scared of Islam at the beginning. And understandably, I was scared of Muslims. I was scared of Muslims. I thought they were terrorists. I thought they were evil people.
I subscribed to Tommy Robinson years ago, and I watched it thinking, the guy's got a point. Like,
because, because this is what we fed. The point is, when I went to Africa, I was staying with Muslims, and I was stuck in Africa, basically. The Muslims helped me. So I was kind of forced to be with Muslims. So, yeah, of course, I was scared of Muslims. I understand that my parents were as well. Even now, from time to time, they have their problems with me. We believe in shaitan, they say to whispering, causing problems. But we just carry on.
Oh, good. In the flesh. How are you doing, man? Very nice to see you.
Good. That's what I was about to tell you.
So yeah, we just it just takes time. And of course, some of my friends, I had to let go.
The right man.
The relationship is based on something that I don't want to do anymore. I was going to the clubs, drinking. I was a jazz singer as well, so I kind of left that life as well. So it wasn't just.
So is it a complete straight away? You then cut it?
Completely. It took time. It's a slow process.
But I'm not English.
And also,
I'm British.
and with family, it's not easy. But the point is that our relationship with the Creator is more important. And unfortunately, sometimes you do lose family. But that's their problem, not yours. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to accept you for who you are. They've got a problem. You've got a problem. Like, for a long time I was a bit, I didn't tell my parents for 2 years. I told them by accident, actually. I was tying my shoelaces. I said, I'm going to the mosque.
Where this beard's come from?
I said, I'm going to the mosque. I didn't have a beard. And I said, I'm going to the mosque. And I said, what? They were so upset. They were so worried. But it takes time. Like, I had to slowly teach them about Islam. And, so yeah, but it's worth it because it's true. I've got extended family members as well. Some of them don't like the fact that I become a Muslim. That's their problem. They've chosen to lose a cousin or another. Honestly, that's their problem. I'm here and I'm willing to be there. We're not just told to walk away from this, that's it. So, don't think you have to tell everyone as well. It's between you and God. Don't think you have to go and now, start telling all your family members and causing all this stuff. Take your time. In fact, I advise new Muslims not to tell their parents in the beginning. The reason is because they don't know much about Islam when they become a Muslim. When I first became a Muslim, I didn't have much knowledge about Islam. I didn't know everything. I still don't know everything. So as soon as you become a Muslim, they're going to start questioning you about detailed things, about the age of Aisha, about this winged horse. You don't even know the answers yet. So don't feel you need to tell anyone yet. Take your time. Learn the basics of Islam. Get grounded in the core beliefs of Islam, and then, when the time is right. And you've already got a niece who's a Muslim. So you already have some family members who are
I'm learning my Islam at the moment from a 6-year-old, so it's a slow process.
That's a lot easier.
And she does. She comes out with new phrases each week, or new things about the Quran or something, and I won't know what she's talking about. So this is originally why I wanted to research it. We have some interesting debates. And like I said, I think originally it was what bothered me was the separation where she was dividing me. She said Uncle Jordan's a Christian, she's a Muslim. I think that's the reason why. Eventually,
And you were saying about where she was talking about hellfire, and it scared you, and that's one of the purposes of it. One of them, to warn us about the hereafter, because as I mentioned before, it's so important because we are going to die. This is a reality. You believe it, I believe it.
Yeah, now you telling me the hellfire, just being honest, the thought of there being a hellfire where bad people burn forever is just straight in my head. So I'm not discounting him, I'm just saying that's where I struggle.
And this is something that Allah will allow you to understand once you start reading the Quran. I'm telling you, once you believe the Quran, here's the revelation. He said, you're not just going to accept the Quran without looking at the reading, understanding the history of it.
What did you see?
These are the reality of the hereafter. There is a paradise, there is a hellfire. There is a reward for the people who do good things, who believe in God. And there's also punishment for people who reject it. So.
And all I asked